read us the good news.
Okay, and I'm going to start with Rose City School. Good news from Rose City School. Trunk or treat. Our first Halloween trunk or treat was a great success, despite the rainy day. It was delightful to see all the children dressed in costume. Thank you to all the businesses, community members, and parents who brought the goodies, and also to our special guest, Dutch, leader dog in training. One student said, this is the best Halloween ever. We look forward to doing it again next year. Good news from Sirline Elementary School. Our annual kindergarten snow dance will be held at Sirline Middle School Gym on November 27th at 2:30 p.m. This annual event has been a tradition for Sirline for 39 years. Join us for a heartwarming tradition. Good news from Sirline Middle School. In October, Sirline Middle School had a great Fear Factor family night. The majority of the teachers volunteered their time to create fearful activities for families to enjoy and learn. Some of the events included riddles in mathematics, Eureka, witchcraft, medieval dining, chillingly creepy challenges, books and bones, pumpkin predictions, and fear of integers. Students and parents went from room to room participating in activities developed around the curriculum. Afterwards, families enjoyed a pizza dinner served by our parapros. With over 450 people in attendance, we would say it was a very successful night. Good news from Ogama Heights High School. Good news from the building trades class. The Ogama Heights Building Trades class is making good progress on their project. Currently, they are beginning framing of the walls and hope to have the building enclosed by Christmas break, if the weather cooperates. Students have really enjoyed how involved they have been with all phases of construction this year. Good news from drama and theater. The OHHS theatrical troupe had 3 very successful performances of Winnie the Pooh and are beginning to work on their murder mystery dinner theater show, Karaoke Killer, which will be performed Friday, January 31st and Saturday, February 1st. Good news from the classroom. The Spanish 3 students traveled to SVSU to compete in the 38th Annual Foreign Language Day for the first time in school history. The students competed in 3 different competitions, met some SVSU faculty, and took a tour of the campus. While the students didn't win any trophies, they had a great time and wanted to compete again next year. They hope to encourage those students taking other languages via the virtual school to also get involved and compete. Good news from HOSA. HOSA members with several moms and 1 grandfather turned 10 bushels of apples into 225 apple crumb pies on Friday evening and Saturday morning. There are only a few remaining pies available for purchase. Good news from the CTE department. Approximately 150 CTE students attended the Delta College Career Pathways Open House on October 25th, where they were able to speak with various professionals on a variety of career fields. Students took advantage of this opportunity and gained some valuable insight to future careers. And this is good news from the athletic department. Congratulations to Riley Marvin, Dylan Zettel, Corey Huey, and Zach Marentet for receiving honorable mention recognition for soccer this year. Also, congratulations to Jacob Ignashik for making second team all-conference for soccer. Congratulations to Kennedy Beecham for making honorable mention in volleyball, and to Mary Von Cronenberger for making second team all-conference in volleyball. Congratulations to the following football players: Shane Benjamin first team all-conference linebacker. Sean Benjamin, honorable mention linebacker. Jacob Frechette, honorable mention defensive line. Michael von Cronenberger, honorable mention wide receiver. Devin Griffiths, first team running back. Alex Stevens, first team offensive line. Ben Hartley, second team quarterback, first team punter, first team defensive back. And Josh Alry, second team running back, second team defensive back. Congratulations to Taylor Tibbetts. Taylor won the 100 butterfly in the Independent Swim Conference on November 9th, 2013. She is now qualified for 4 individual events: the 200 individual medley, 50 freestyle, 100 butterfly, and 100 freestyle for the state meet in Holland on November 22nd and 23rd. It has been many years since a Falcon swimmer has qualified in 4 individual events. Congratulations, Taylor, on a season and a high school career of hard work and accomplishment. Winter sports practices are underway.
Thank you. Okay, now it's time for communication from the community, time for public comment. Please state your name, city of residence, and you will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. So would anyone like to address the board on something they're concerned about?
Oh, I've got mine on here later.
Okay, Emily Walker from West Branch. I was just wondering what's going on with Neil Erickson's severance package.
I have mine down here. Mine's down here.
Mr. Quino will address it.
There was an offer made to all of the teachers last year, a $10,000 buyout offer for a resignation. Mr. Erickson did qualify under the terms of that agreement, according to the union, according to the association. The board and myself do not feel that he does qualify for the $10,000. And so right now, we have ongoing discussions with the union regarding the $10,000 payment to him. And it's right now part of a grievance process that the union has filed on behalf of Mr. Erickson.
Anyone else? Okay. Next is we have a presentation from the Promise Zone Initiative. Bob Collier from Michigan Works and Northern Transformation Corporation.
Good afternoon, or evening, actually, thank you. Appreciate the time on the agenda. I'm Bob Collier with Michigan Works and Northern Transformation, and I'm here today to ask for the board's support in a Promise Zone application we're making to the federal government. The Promise Zone is the federal government's and the president's initiative to support high poverty areas in the areas of economic development, workforce development, and there's no money with the designation at this point. Basically, it's a designation of a community, and then what you get is a liaison from the federal government that'll help you look at the grants that are available, help you with the resources for the plans you have, and that's the key. They want to come in and look at the plans the community already has. And you'll also get additional points for agencies that participate in the program. For example, the Department of Education has announced they'll participate in it. So, like I said, there's really no dollars in it at this point. And Northern Transformation is only one of 3 entities in Michigan that can apply for it. They're going to do 20 in 4 years, 1 rule this year. And a couple years ago, Northern Transformation received a USDA grant for Stronger's Economies Together. And because of that grant award, we actually receive special privilege to apply for it. So this first year, it's not open. Northern Transformation is just simply a 501c3 that some of us at Michigan Works started because we realized that Michigan Works as a governmental entity couldn't access a lot of the grants that are available to 501c3s. So as a partner, if you were to simply say you wanted to partner or support this process, that's simply the end of it in terms of a resolution or a support letter, or however the board wants to process that. And that can be the end of it. And then let's say we do get the designation, we would simply provide this board or with a letter, and any grant application you already have or that you're working on would receive extra points or extra privileges based on whatever, in this case, the Department of Education might say. So the point here is we're looking at what plans are out there, what's the community already doing, and trying to build on those plans and not really come in and invent things and so on. We've chosen the 6 counties of Aranet, Clare, Gladwin, Iosco, Ogama, and Roscommon because they line up with the 6 counties of Michigan Works. And there's a lot of interplay with the county government and so on. We kind of already have that there. And those 6 counties, unfortunately, do meet the poverty guideline to be eligible. So at this point, I'll open it for questions, but we're really just looking for the support of the board, and then we can upload a resolution to the website. I can work with a cover letter or a support letter, or whatever process you want to work through that. Open it for questions, of course, but it's that's really what we're trying to do. And then if we, like I say, if we do get the designation, it'll be anywhere from, like I said, if you just have a plan and you're submitting it and you're done, or we envision really creating a 6-county coalition of people to guide like a regional plan. But that's kind of the 2 extremes of where we're looking at where this could go. Questions? I do have some literature, probably not enough for everybody. I can leave it with you if you like.
The board has in their packet this evening a couple things. One is a draft of a letter that's been prepared to send to Bob in support of the initiative. And there's also a resolution in your packet that we hopefully will adopt tonight, and we'll get that to you by Wednesday, I think.
Oh, that'd be great.
For the application.
Perfect.
Right.
Is there, I know you said there's no dollars attached at this point, but is there anything that we know of at this point that would say you have to apply for this grant or you have to do certain things if we're involved in this?
Not that we know of at this point. I mean, like a lot of these, it's evolving in terms of it's right now being ran through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. But as we understand it, there's no commitment at this part. I mean, we are asking anybody, if you have any dollars you want to commit, we'll take that. But ideally, we're getting just support letters and resolutions with no more commitment other than if you wanted to get involved after the fact, if we were lucky enough to get the designation. So no commitment in terms of time, money, facilities, anything other than, hey, it sounds like a good idea, good luck.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the sour apple in
No.
the bucket here, but it bothers me that we're being asked to pledge something and we don't know what the end result is. We don't know what we're going to be involved in, and I haven't seen anything come from the federal government yet where there's not a string attached. And I mean, we had a thing here a few years ago where, hey, here's $200,000, and at the end of the time frame, the money was gone, and we were still committed to pay $200,000. Our program continues. So, I mean, I'm a little hesitant. I mean, it's all has a good intention, but I'm a little hesitant to be involved in something that I don't know what the end result is.
Understandable. It's kind of like if you're involved in the prosperity zones. If you've been approached about that, there's some money available to them, and there's no. And I've been working on support letters for that too, and it's what we're selling is a collaboration. So does it sound like a good idea? Is it something we think we can collaborate on? Because that's what the federal government's looking at, is regionalization and collaboration. And so I know exactly what you mean. The Northern Transformation is going to be the applicant, so if anybody's on the string, so to speak, I would think it would be us. But our understanding is, at this point, we're just showing the commitment or already the community activity that's already out there. So we have, as of Friday, we had 200 support letters, about 27 resolutions, West Branch Township of a road commission here as well, I think. So it's almost like, yeah, it sounds too good to be true, I'll just sign here kind of thing or whatever. But no, at this point, it's strictly, you get a liaison and you get extra points. But who knows what the future holds, but there's been
For
no.
example, do we know that, okay, as we start to learn more, can we disassociate ourselves?
Absolutely, yeah.
We can?
Yeah. So at this point, yes, yeah, at this point, we're just getting people to support it that says we believe in the promise zones and we would like to be designated one to get these additional resources, but actually, if we get designated, we can pull new partners in as well as absolutely partners can drop out once the details start coming out and if people are feeling uncomfortable with maybe a commitment they're looking at. So I know what you mean. It's a hard sell because I'm going for $100,000 to build a park at a playground at the park or something. We don't have that yet. And so what they're selling it as in terms of the federal government is it's really to take, we've been looking at transportation plans, some of the schools, it's showing us some of their plans, the CTC plans, we've been involved with at Michigan Works. So we're kind of grabbing everybody's plan, and with the application, we're going to say, look at all the great work that's been out here, look at what we've been trying to do. We're already out there collaborating, sharing resources, just give us this designation. And it's kind of like the enterprise zones, if anybody remembers those from years ago. I kind of think of those. I know Clare County was an enterprise zone years ago and gave them additional preference. Some money was designated only for enterprise zones. So I definitely understand your point. It's a vague.
So here's a
at this
question
point.
then, here's a question. If these 6 counties are already designated as poverty zones, they know that, why do we have to give them a resolution to say, we'll join?
Well,
Why wouldn't we just get the points because we're in this county?
I don't know that I can
Yeah, that's
answer
what
that
I
from the
know. That's
federal
what
level. I mean, they're
fine.
only designating 20 of these in 4 years, and I think 5 of them are rural, so it could be a long shot. At this point, we think there's about 20 people applying. In this state, there's a tribal facility, I think, in Traverse City, because there's a tribal aspect to this, and Detroit there's an entity in Detroit that is also eligible to apply, but they're going to apply for the urban one. So it's our understanding we're the only entity in Michigan that can even apply the Northern Transformation. So, but yeah, I definitely understand your concern. It's a vague commitment at this point to something that we don't know where it's going to end. That can be exciting, but it can also be frustrating. So, but yes, I'd give you the opportunity to add and to be partners as we move forward.
But as I read the resolution and as I look at the letter here, we're not committing any funds to this, and we're not committing any kind of guarantee that we would do this or we would do that. We are simply saying at this point that we support this idea. I think that's what I'm reading from the.
I've not seen that, but that's what we're asking is basically, we're trying to prove that not only can we collaborate, we already have, and look at all the planning, and we've all been involved on multi-collaborative bodies and planning and community and so on. So we're trying to sell to them that we're really already doing it, and we've got all the plans and collaboration. Now just let us, go forward. And you're right, it's really the yeses and nos really come after when we start looking at what do we want to do and, in terms of the commitments and so on. But you're absolutely right. It's supporting the concept and idea and hoping for the best. But yes, it is a vague.
In the meetings that I attend, what I understand it to be is that if we get this Promise Zone initiative and we're designated as that, as these entities begin to apply for grants, and other people around the country apply as well, they award those based on points in a scale and a schedule. And by being recognized as a Promise Zone, we get additional points if we decide to apply for a grant or some municipality applies for it. You get a higher designation.
You get like a preferred, you're right, you get either a couple additional points. Some money might only be available to promise zones. But that's exactly, and that's the way the enterprise zones worked of years ago. Same kind of concept.
I have a question on your letter here, going down to the bottom paragraph, where it says, to adopt a promised zone initiative resolution to support the bond between our organizations, which is enclosed. I could not find enclosed.
It will be when the letter goes in. That's just a draft of the letter that would go to them.
This letter is from us.
This is from us,
Right.
yeah. And we haven't sent it yet, so it's not in.
And
But what are we enclosing?
The resolution that's in the board.
The resolution that's
Oh,
on,
okay, okay,
on
okay,
page
okay.
27 here.
Got it?
And they also want us to enclose the school improvement plan.
Okay.
The resolution is found on page
27 near the back here.
Any other questions? Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Do you have information that you could give us?
When you
Just
get the
for-
back,
It's a free program, right?
Basically, yes. Right now it is.
They don't have to pay anything for it.
What's
Once
your
it gets
property
started,
level?
and they can
Okay,
back
next
up.
up is
Go.
Mrs. Arnold with security cameras at Ottawa Heights.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I really feel it's still important to have the security cameras in our high school. I would like for you to take a look at this picture. It's only for the board. That is only one thing that's happened at the high school of multiple things that's happened this year. I blew it up so everyone would be able to see it really well.
What are you doing back there?
Okay. Okay, in this chart that I have just given you, you can see that Michigan is rated 0 in security of our schools out of the 50 states.
What's your criteria, do you know?
What's our criteria? I gave you the link on there on the front page. You can look it up. I just gave you the briefing of it, showing that Michigan is rated 0 for security in 50 states. In the photo, as you can see, why can't the board address issues that we need help with to get our school? Whose job is it to do the grants? This board seems to be monitoring the chart. There seems to be some conflict as if what is important in this community and the most precious to our students, safety. It appears that the board is all about money, not the students. As many times as I have been to board meetings, this really hurts. The board has not brought up safety of our students. It has been we, the people. It is all about money. You are all allowed to have access to our children. Seems to be measured by dollars and cents. Your job is to provide an environment that allows our children a safe place to learn. I'm sorry, but I don't feel that here. You have not been forthcoming about the pool costs. So why should we believe you on the safety of our children? And the past record speaks for itself. With the runabout, I mean, I have received, oh my God, this is just heartbreaking to me. I have received from our board, our rep, our state senator, our legal system is the board. I think change is needed across the board, across the whole board. To get along and go along system, it's not working very well, not for our students here. Well, here in this community anyway, and as you all can see, I have pointed out on one of the pages at the last meeting on October 21st, 2013, the board told me that we and the school did not pay for the pool, not one dime, and Mr. Hughes is not here. He wrote an email to me in caps, a public official responding to a citizen in caps, asked Deborah Abraham for these notes. And he said the school pay, the people, the boosters pay for everything, heat and everything. That is not true. I have proof that we, the people, pay $24,000 and some dollars, and that is not including the heat of the room. That is not including the heat to light the room. That is not including the insurance of the room. This shows that this board was not forthcoming at our last meeting. They were not forthcoming with us. There has been multiple times they have not been
Time's up.
forthcoming with us. And Michelle back there, she asked me to do her job, to call the rep and ask for for grants. For my concern. It's not my concern. If the school cares as much as they do for our students, they would be making those calls to prove that our students are first top priority. They are not proving that our students come first and are not first priority. That is it. I mean, it breaks my heart that this board sits up here and cannot stand up for our students. You can stand up for the teachers, you can stand up for everything else, for the teachers that wrote letters and everything else, but our students. What about our students? Think about them. That's why you're here. That's what we elected you for, was our school and our students first.
Okay.
And can I have my picture back, please? And for you those that have not seen this was in the high school parking lot on a student's card. This is federal. And this can go to federal. And there has been more that has happened in that parking lot at the high school because the cameras are not working. Yes, we have cameras in that parking lot. Dan and I walked out into the parking lot and to see if those cameras were working, right where this car was parked. No, the cameras were not working. And it cost $12,000 to $15,000 to get good cameras. And I'm sure Mr. Williams here could point them in the right direction where they could get good cameras that won't break and will last.
Sit.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, Rose City Walk to School Program, Rhonda Copeland, the Hospice of Helping Hands.
You want it?
I'm going to give you a little history before I talk about Walk to School. In August of 2011, we were approached by the Community Department of Public Health at Michigan regarding that Ogama County is #2 for cardiovascular deaths in the state of Michigan and also for heart failure deaths. There's a group of community members that came together, including the board, and what we did is we decided we made goals for the community. Because the Department of Public Health couldn't believe in this beautiful surroundings, why we had so much heart attacks. So one of the things that I have volunteered to do is I've been going between the two schools and taking blood pressures and BMIs on students. For 2 years, we followed these children and found, unfortunately, high blood pressure in our young kids is very prevalent. And so one of the things that we did in this group is we wrote for a grant. And you'll have bracelets that said Health Matters, and we gave those to the kids. On October 9th, Rose City Schools was blessed with a beautiful day. West Branch Schools they did theirs throughout 2 weeks, I think it was. But what we did, and I have pictures, these are good pictures, is Jill we decided to do an assembly. And I'm a registered nurse. I speak in front of adults, but talking to over 200 children are a little bit different. And the staff came, they were so fabulous. Those kids were so well behaved. My husband is a retired GM exec. We left this school, he told 5 people how wonderful the kids were. He was very impressed. So we gave a visual in-service of when you drink a bottle of Mountain Dew, it's 3/4 of a cup of sugar. When you drink a Whopper, it's a 1/4 cup of shortening and 2 teaspoons of salt. And so we did those in visuals for these kids. And some of the staff members had the students come by the table afterwards. And then we went to the back and we had all these big posters from the foundation, the Toll-Free Foundation. We had pictures of really good choices of exercise and food, and we had some not so good choices. And the kids took a wonderful walk in this beautiful sunny day, and then they came back through this grant and they got water, a piece of fruit, the bracelet, and then we had some other little trinkets for the kids, pencils. Some kids had 5 bracelets, some had a few less. But it was a beautiful day, and the whole purpose of this is how important exercise and good choices. And the littlest thing that I remember was the early 4s. I don't know if they call them that anymore. But I was telling our group, is this little girl walked by and she saw the cupcake with the big X, and she says, darn, I love cupcakes. So it's teaching kids in a positive aspect, but it's all about our choices. And that's something that goes through our lifetime, is our choices. So thank you, and those pictures are part of the grant that we have to submit back, so.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Next, we have the technology update from Tom Ray.
What's that?
Dan asked me to speak tonight just to some of the things we've accomplished over the last year from the technology department and some of the technology that we've implemented in the district. Some of the things we've completed since the beginning of second semester last year are the lab here. We did have just 10 PCs here in the library. We've upgraded that to a full 30-station lab. We also upgraded the Lab 103 at the high school with new machines over spring break last year. At the same time, we also did the 12 computers in 2 Sirline libraries. And that was all out of Title I, Title VI, or in the case of Sirline Elementary, some building money actually went into that from Gale's internal accounts. Also out of Title VI last year, toward the end of the year, we put in a full set of TI Inspire graphing calculators for the math department at the high school. The fiber link from Rose City to the high school was completed over Christmas break. Last year, we were up and running on that. And the fiber link from Ogama Heights to Sirline, we turned on over spring break. That has done tremendous things for us in the amount of traffic that we can support between the buildings. We've actually, because of that, been able to relocate all the district servers to one location at the high school. We're running on a lot less equipment in the back end because we're able to support the traffic out to the outlying campuses. Over the summer this year, we installed all new teacher workstations at Ogama Heights. We moved several, with the closing of Rose City Middle School, we took all the Brightline that we put in over there and reallocated them both to this building and to the Sirline campus. I already mentioned we moved all the servers and back-end equipment to the high school, so everything we're doing from an infrastructure side and support of the network is almost entirely done from the high school location. We moved the storage area network, the old SAN storage array that we had at Sirline. We repurposed that from storage that was just for Sirline to the high school. We increased capacity on that as kind of a stopgap to get to what we'll be asking for something later in the year. We also converted Ogama Heights and Sirline to Microsoft Active Directory over the network, over the summer. Our network was, for several years, running on Novell NetWare. We switched that over. That's giving us a lot more capabilities in what we can do with the network, and also a much greater cost savings than what we were doing with Novell. Novell was costing us about $18,000 a year in licensing. My Microsoft licensing went up maybe $600–700 in additional server fees. The client side we were already paying for it, but we were already running Microsoft. Because of that, though, we had to touch every single computer in the district. So we went around machine by machine this summer and re-imaged every machine in the district. This fall, we've put in 9 more bright links. Most classrooms, even special ed now, are covered. We have over 90 bright links in the classrooms across the district. Quite an improvement over what we had just 2 years ago when we didn't have maybe 5 or 6 interactive whiteboards in the district. We've finished the installation of the wireless project. We still have some configuration and tweaking to do on that. Right now, we're working on getting the school-owned devices on the wireless. Probably right after Thanksgiving, we're going to open up bring your own device to staff. We'll allow any staff-owned personal devices on the wireless, and then right after Christmas break, we plan to allow student devices. We're in the process of rolling out 2 carts of Google Chromebooks for the high school. Those were purchased out of 22I grant money, Michigan Technology Readiness. We've done 1 cart of Chromebooks that are on order. They haven't been installed yet for Sirline Elementary School. That was all paid for out of PTO and internal account money from Sirline. Hopefully out of Title VI this year, we're looking at replacing the teaching lab at Sirline Elementary School, which is currently the oldest lab in the district. 1 more set of Texas Instruments TI Inspire graphing calculators for the high school, and then try and finish out or get as far as we can with document cameras. Right now we've got quite a few of our classrooms with document cameras, but we've still got a long way to go with that gap. And then later in the year, after I've done a little bit more of my homework, I'll probably be coming back to you to request approval of purchase of a new SAN for the network, the storage area network. The current storage we're running on just isn't fast enough for everything we're trying to do. So what we recycled the one at Sirline, that's about 5 years old, which bought us some time, but we're gonna have to upgrade that piece of equipment. Any for those? I don't wanna throw a number at you right now because I don't have any firm numbers. They're not cheap.
What are we, Tom, as far as in the progression of getting everything completed? As far as if you had a timeline when we started, are we ahead or behind schedule?
It is, as far as which project?
All of them, I mean, to complete everything we talked about with this fiber optics would help with our school. I mean, I know there's always something new that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be pieces going on. The wireless we're a little behind on, but that was because of a funding issue. We delayed that, so we're probably 6 months behind where I wanted to be with that. The SAN, ideally, I would have liked to have had last year, but just financially, we couldn't do it last year. So there's always gonna be projects coming down the road. We've looked at Safari Montage for the teaching staff. We met as a technology committee and decided that now wasn't the right time to pursue that project. We're gonna push that off a year and reprioritize, and out of that money that we did have earmarked for that out of Title VI, we're gonna be doing a lab and calculators, so. Then it constantly is evolving. I do feel strongly that we probably should look at or consider a technology bond. A lot of districts around us have recently passed technology bonds. Thing with technology is there's always something new coming down the road. And especially if we wanna, now that we've got this wireless, if we wanna do any kind of one-to-one initiatives, those are gonna have to be bond supported. The general fund is just not able to do that.
Well, Tom's here, you do have that bring your own device policy. If you could just bring that up to this part of the agenda, since Tom's with us right now. The county put together a committee. We met the last couple of weeks to put together this curriculum advice policy. It replaces, it's on page 27. It replaces the current policy that we have. Page 28. But with us hopefully being able to be ready after Christmas break, I think.
Yes, I'd like to open up.
Here, hold this, there it is.
Our plan is to have a first reading of this policy tonight, a second reading
That's the
in
deal.
December. So we're ready to go after the break. And Jack served on that committee from the board. Scott worked hard on this policy with us as well. And Mike, sorry, Mike, thank you, Mike as well, came to several meetings also. We had some input from teachers, upper L, lower L, administrators around the team that put together this policy. So you'll be asked to approve this as a first reading tonight. And I don't know if you have any questions for Tom or for me on the policy. You can ask this now. There's also going to be a superintendent's report, but since Tom's here, did you want to add anything about that policy at all?
Policy is pretty much self-explanatory. We tried to keep it as simple as possible. We went from a less is more type approach. So,
The only question I had, and Tom, this may not even involve you, but why is it permitted beginning at 5th grade as opposed to younger than that?
the big concern there was some of these mobile devices are upwards of $500. We didn't feel really comfortable in the policy stating that we're not responsible for these devices if you bring them, and then having a first or second grader bring a $500 device to school and not having any means of securing it.
There's no locks on the lockers.
Yes. I mean, my question is, obviously, if everybody is using devices to learn from, but.
We're not stopping use of devices. We're asking that they're not bringing them in from home.
Right.
So they can still use school-owned devices. We just don't want them to
The
be
school
bringing
has
them.
labs, and the school is, we're setting them up with some of the notebook Chromebooks or whatever kinds of things that they'll be able to take in and have as a classroom set too. So that they're gonna have the stuff to work with. We were just concerned about, I think our biggest
I
thing,
completely understand. I mean,
the
I'm just
security.
thinking 3 years from now, maybe the only, anything that anybody's ever gonna learn from it will be no more textbooks.
Yeah.
It'll just change, bend this thing.
Right.
We try to keep it like. Tom
Be no
was
more
saying,
schools, it'll all be
just
on
keep it
computer.
Shorter, better right now, and try to keep it as simple as we can, not knowing for sure where this thing's gonna land.
Yeah, we talked to the elementary school teachers and to the administrators, and they were doing it this way too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And my feeling too was it's always easier to broaden than it is to try and
Rein it
narrow the
in.
scope. So. Any other questions?
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have a parking lot recommendation for Rose City Schools from Butch Hart.
And Jill is supposed to be part of this, but I see she disappeared, so. Jill came to me a month or so ago and was concerned about traffic flow out here and safety in front of the school with parents picking up children and stuff in the afternoon. And so we looked at a number of different options. The one that seemed to fit the best is to move the bus lineup area from the front of this hallway here to the west end of the school. And I just made a real quick sketch there for you and presented it to the finance committee meeting the other night, and they asked me to bring it to the board. It's going to cost, again, I just got one quick estimate. They figured between $5,000 and $6,000 to do that. We do have some blacktop down there. The balance of it would be limestone, and that would help take care of the drainage down there. And like I said, we moved the bus lineup area to the west end. Parent pickup and stuff would stay at this end, so we kind of separate that like we do at the other two campuses, at the high school and at Shoreline. We have.
I understand this is safety issue. That we're trying to.
That's the very first that, and like I said, we the people,
It's a safety issue.
we the people have brought that up.
The buses and the parents coming and going and.
True.
Not the
Yeah.
school
So,
board, we the
this is the
people.
only campus where we don't have, have those two entities separate. And it was set up that way basically because when we had the middle school open, kids would come to the center would come from both directions.
That's
And now that
when
we
I went
don't.
to school here, I don't think so.
Yeah. So now we don't. So again, I just, one real quick price on it. Talked to one excavator, he figured it would take $5,000 to $6,000 to do that. And then do the limestone, the balance of the parking area. Again, we'd have to look at it, of course, get some more prices on it if we decide to go ahead with it. We're looking at some time issues, seasonal issues, and so on, whether it's something that can go this year if it's approved or not, or we may have to wait till spring or whatever.